Hello, full moon blessings. Welcome to Full Moon Oracle. My name is Josie Amoni, and I am grateful for the nudge to offer more collective oracle sessions. Uh, I usually did this in the past just for the new moon, which would have given you contemplations for the entire month. And so now you'll see there's new moon oracle and then full moon. So to assist you in what is now, what may be moving through within the cycles that are now, as well as what may be to come. So welcome, welcome. And for oracle sessions, I would just share you're welcome to drink lots of water, to sit, to breathe, and to receive. Sometimes what will come during a session is you will get like a aha moment. You'll get this moment of going, great insight, which you'll want to kind of then maybe go do something right away, right? Like I need to write this down, or I need to do this, da, 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 which will kind of step you away. I have experienced this as well. So to allow yourself to let the idea or that aha moment to kind of percolate and to continue to listen and receive for some further insight may come as the session continues. To share with you, these sessions tend to be around about an hour, a little less or a little more. So to give you some insight on the amount of time, you're welcome to, it is a full moon oracle. So I would even share a really nice thing would be to listen in water. And that means draw yourself a bath, enjoy the sounds and what comes through from spirit to assist you, and while you are actually and literally allowing with the water whatever is ready to release. Sometimes in the release from insight, what may come is little shifts or like jumps or twitches in your body, and just not to be weary of them, but just to honor any shifts that occur within body, mind, and heart as you experience this session. This is live as well. So know that you are welcome to share any queries, any questions that you wish to put out to the Oracle. And as well, you're welcome to share any additional comments or contemplations within the comments on the replay. And I will see what I can address then or in the next Oracle session. So let us begin. Allow yourself to, if you feel comfortable in doing so, you can even light candle and just welcome in Source Creator, welcome in your connection to the universal energy that is of the flame, that is of fire. You're welcome to also drink some water and to give gratitude to the water and welcome in the water into your body to acknowledge your connection as well to the moon at this moment in time. And in acknowledging both the lunar and solar energies that will assist you in receiving and also assist you in connecting to me. Now, this isn't a one-on-one session, so I will not be connecting to you in particular. What I do for these sessions is that you're welcome to share and give your heart consent to share what you are willing to share to a collective session, right? So it wouldn't be anything too specific in details to honor your privacy. And then what I do is I will take a moment now where we can ground, give gratitude to earth, give gratitude to the waters, connect to the moon. And from there I will ask moon, earth, and my spiritual team to allow me to open and read the oracle for those that are live, as well as those that will be watching this at another time. So no time is very relative, and we will be able to access those who may not even be listening now. Okay, so getting comfortable, you're welcome to lie down, sit down, relax. If you feel comfortable in doing so, you can even close your eyes or even just place your hand on your heart. And taking some deep breaths. Spirit is the breath. Spirituality is as vast as all that breathes. So as you focus on the intake of breath and the outtake of breath, begin to observe the energy that moves through you, within you, between the in and the out, and through you towards the earth, between the out and the in. Allow your body to relax and get settled, to soften any holdings in the body. And to place a direction towards where you are releasing your breath to. That you're moving your breath towards the earth, towards the waters. And that you're breathing in from that same earth, from those waters, into you. Getting to feel this rhythm that is so live on the full moon. Of you breathing the earth in, and you breathing you out. Your body may even move with this rhythm. Enjoy the wave-like effect of your breath. And then to open with the intention to receive the lunar assistance, the moon's assistance in illuminating what needs to be illuminated in this session for the collective today, for those who have chosen to gather and listen. Honor what even may surface within your body, within your mind, within your heart. Just welcome what is illuminated by the moon's energy. And also giving acknowledgement to the sun, that great cosmic fire in the sky, and ask it to light the way towards your inner flame, your flame that rings true, that truest essence of you. And I ask, with the assistance of this flame, for all that may need to be transmuted or shared in guidance, for what may be limiting connection to true or inhibiting it, what may be slowing down the love, the joy, and the peace for those who have chosen to listen. I ask for the support of my protectors, guardians, and the ascended teachers to assist me in sharing what is meant to be voiced, what is meant to be sounded in this session. You're welcome to sit with the energies for as long as you wish. Welcome to close your eyes as many times as you desire. And if you choose to open them, I will be doing so now. First, connecting to the stars on this beautiful full moon, which is still light outside. Aid of the shifting of time cycles. Did you see how that one flew? Okay. As cards come and as guidance comes, if there are certain questions that arise within your heart, you're welcome to ask them for more clarification of what I may receive when receiving your name or your handle, your YouTube handle. But the one that flew out, I have to honor. And this one always kind of brings up some stuff. Yes, you see? Just trying to not get the reflection of this from the Cheryl Lee Harnish Oracle cards. And specifically the deck Return of Spirit. I find this deck, and I've spoken about this with my gifted group, that certain decks carry specific energies. And I tend to go for this deck first because it carries very universal truths, like very higher realm energy, which can be relevant for an entire message, for even certain thematics. Now, the neat thing with the word sexuality that came up, I'm feeling that there is some definite desire and longing for deeper or more intimate connections, for greater loves. Wow, I don't actually normally read about love all the time. It seems to be usually moving through the journey and just trying to more on the personal, like on the self note. But this is, and interestingly enough, when the sexuality card comes up sometimes, I actually get that it's solely talking about that sacred union within you, balancing the solar and lunar energies within you, balancing, sometimes they've been called the masculine and the feminine, within you. But tonight I am getting it is about love. It is about love, about relationships. Mm. And there's almost a forlornness about like memories. Like there's have some of you might be reminiscing about past loves or exciting times when you felt really alive in your body, with really excited, almost titillated energetically. And okay. And so I'm getting that kind of yearning. It's not solely about relationship, even though it might seem like you're reminiscing or about those kind of like really exciting times. But what is moving through, what I'm seeing in this kind of the red, as you see this kind of like beautiful movement through the card, through these loves, through these hearts, is passion. Like, what are you most passionate about right now? And there's a lot of good energy coming in. Let me ride the wave. With a lot of the stuff that is going on in the collective and watching the news and the intensity of the discord and the discontent that is literally could feel like it's right outside your doorstep. It could feel like it's right when you're even a block away. So there's almost also this desire for passion, but then also seeing what and how passion has been showcased, which is almost an immense anger, an immense roiling anger. And so because of this craving for deep loving passion, for deep loving connection, and really just like, I just feel it's like that most like roller coaster, adventurous, like ecstatic sensation of connection to another or more than one, that there's almost then like the roiling anger that is surrounding you, be it within your life. I feel that's in some it is within your life, within some people within your life, and some it may be that you're just receiving it from others, from like media sources or things like that. That there's almost something it's funny, they're sharing the word vacillating, and I don't even really like fully connect to that word. So if you do, you're welcome to ride with that. But there's something that is enticing about the intensity of anger that is in actuality this deep yearning for a greater desire and the passion within your life. Whew. Guided to get some clear words on that, and you're welcome to share if you get additional prompts. It's also, I'm getting like, that there's like, we kind of always want what we cannot have. And because of what is moving through the world right now, there's a lot more distance that is being asked for us to almost reignite innate passion, joy, and deep connection and integration into who we are and what we carry within self, so that we can bring kind of like a whole bodied experience and connection into future relations to come. And so there's this, maybe that some of you might be also getting that, like there's an anger and frustration of like, I feel like I'm ready for love. I've done so much work over this past year of isolation, and I'm now ready to like really go full throttle into something that is magical and something that is so exciting, and I'm ready for it. Like but gosh darn it, I can't get it. Like feeling like there is limitation to accessing that is out of your control. And maybe that's why the waves of anger are almost enticing, because a lot of the anger that is moving through, be it from media to the news to many different outlets, right? It feels like people are just screaming into a vast field, or like, that there's no way of actually being heard of what they're screaming about, because what they are yelling about feels out of their control. So there is also this dynamic that is coming up right now. And know that like it may come up and surge more within these next days, because full moon, there are waves, right? Full moon carries definite movement from moon to water. So there's going to be lots of waves, lots of surges of energy and experience and intensity of what you're experiencing. So even sharing that, I had to take a breath and had to find my center. So the anger that needs to release, and it's neat because I'm going to ask about that, because well, the actual picture even has these roiling waves that just came out. Mutable moon. Nothing is yet set in stone. Okay. You're welcome to share what you also receive. I know that I connect to a lot of intuitives, and we can ride the waves together. Some of you, I'm hearing that this is like, some people just need to step up. Okay. Thank you, Spirit, for sharing those. Specifically lunar energies, for sharing that insight. The nothing is yet set in stone. That's really neat, because I was actually connecting to the energy of stone, like being a big stone, in order to allow kind of your reach or your connection to be greater, right? Like if you think of when you throw a pebble into an ocean, it's not going to create a big ripple. But if you throw like a big stone into the water, it will start to create ripples, right? And then I was even seeing of how, like the ocean, the movement of the waves itself, we are asked to move in the direction, and it might not be the same direction as everyone else. That's okay. We all each and have our own different directions, right? But as we move through the water, because in whatever form you take, you are either going to be finding others to move along the same direction, right? Like that are on the same path as you, or there may feel like there are people that are kind of holding their ground, like they're another stone going, no, this is the way. And so instead of kind of just like keep banging your head, realize you can move around. You can move around any type of obstacle. Fish and everything that swims and moves, water easily does that. It's not like it stops when it reaches coral or a big rock. It just moves around it. It naturally will continue its course. And so I find it quite telling and interesting that this card comes up saying nothing is yet set in stone. So we are, okay, thank you. We are in a time right now that we are mutating, right? Like I remember last March, I got a very strong message that we were in an incubation process. And that time of incubation, like if you think of incubation, you aren't fully even like, that's usually for like little chicks, right? That still need the warmth of things, that they're in an incubator, right? Or a little baby that needs still taken care of once they are born, they go into an incubator. So the incubation time that we had at for some duration and part of last year, right? We have now kind of grown and been able to step out of that. And that very much is, works in sync with the seasons. And so in the Northern Hemisphere, we have just stepped into spring. And so, you're kind of like figuring out your legs and figuring out that. And what I also am receiving from this, this message is that you're still growing, you're still mutating and finding really all that you are. And I know some, when I even say that to myself, there's a part of me that goes, but gosh darn it, I've been doing this for so long. I've been walking a spiritual journey for like 22 years. How can I still not know? How can I? And it's not necessarily just about not knowing who you are, like you're trying to find a part of you. It's that actually that part of you is still growing, is still actually creating form. It's actually becoming more of the form that you are. And so, I'm asking just why am I receiving this in pertainment to what else has come through so far? Okay. So so we've passed the incubation process. We're now growing and like going, wow, like I literally feel like it's like, this kind of like gooey kind of being that is like starting to take more solid form from all the work that you have done internally as well as externally, right? And externally, if you think that you may not have done a lot of work, isolation or creating those greater boundaries, even those things that might feel like they are out of your control, have assisted you, right, in this process so that you can honor the energies that are moving through you and moving from the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars to assist this process. So we're all growing together. And so in that, there's like, there's almost, I'm receiving that the sexuality actually, like, and sometimes I want to be very clear, because when that comes up, we feel like, you're like, well, if I'm not fully grown, then should I be having sex? Like, should I be intimate yet? And that's exactly what they're trying to share. It's like you're at this point right now of in the rebirth that is you're getting those sexual urges, you're getting that excitement to have these really, really profound and immense experiences with others now, because you're feeling and starting to feel the just the wonder and the incredibleness that it is to be you. That and you know, and so as much as it may show up in challenging ways, right? Like, and you going, oh my gosh, this like burning is coming because I'm like, what am I doing with my life? What's my purpose? Gah! What's going on? I don't feel passion or desire for to do anything. But I want to like connect. I want to touch. I want to feel more. And so however it is on the spectrum between kind of like passion for purpose to passion towards connecting to another person, another human form, you know, wherever I feel that there's some people kind of that are moving between those, right? That it is to go like, it's growing in you right now. And so when this comes up, this be bold and make the first move, that oh, this is such a gorgeous message. I'm kind of having a lot of fun moving with this energy coming in. This doesn't pertain to like, you know, because when I first read this, like I see some going to those like romance comedies or something of like, you know, how there's all this miscommunication that like literally is written into so many stories and movies. It's kind of, I'm like, where did they get that this is the script for dating and connection? I don't get it. And so there's like this thing that you'll be bold and you'll make the first move to show your interest and to show your excitement, to start the connection. And so in that explanation, some of you might feel that this is a very literal message, that because you have someone that you're like, oh, okay, this pertains to. If so, go for it. But I'm getting, for the majority that are watching it, it is not literal. It is looking at how the energy, this fire, this passion that is moving through you, right? Look at that as the thing that you're wishing to connect to right now. Look at that, that hunk of burning love. I keep getting, it's like that, and so in that type of like dating comedy or whatever, you know, of how like there's all like, oh well, I'm not going to say this to that person, and they're going to sit around here and like pine away, and we're all just going to be like feeling something, but we're not going to talk about it, right? It's like, get to know it, get to know it, get to know it intimately. Start to, instead of fear it, because sometimes that fire has come in as anger, frustration, intensity, kind of outbursts. Get to feel this burning ache, this desire that is growing within you, and almost like take that out on a date and connect to it, talk to it, and share. You know, tentatively, I feel at first for some, maybe what your desires are. That first move is going, it's almost like the ball's in your court, and this isn't see how you can okay. We're going back to the rebirth to explain something. You know, in a rebirthing process, right? It's a rebirth. It's not an initial birth. You're not coming in with no knowing. You're coming in with the knowledge and the knowing of the times past previously. And most definitely, and hopefully, some of the past patterns of how you have been in certain situations within life, be it love, be it work, be it whatever, that hopefully that has been transmuted, has been shifted, that you're able to see that, and adjust and take in the wisdom and the compassion from those previous cycles and previous patterns of action or of inaction. And now in this rebirth, it's about doing it differently. And so with that, I feel there's still a bit of trepidation around making the first move, because the first move hasn't been done before, right? It's not that you can go watch a movie or get a book to know how to access and connect to the intense energy that you are connecting to now, and that is loving you. My gosh, there is such a deep love in the frequency that is being shared by you all. So it's so in that, the boldness is with yourself, is with seeing when, like really knowing that you can observe when those uncertainties come up that make you question yourself, make you question what you feel is the next thing for you to do, which is the next thing that you are directed to do from within, from your body, from this intensity. I feel that some of you are very in touch with your spiritual team. And so some of this intensity feeling for you is, you might be feeling like it's outside of yourself, but and not realizing that your body is mutating and accommodating the energy that you are in communication with. So, questions that are coming up. I know this is recorded and will always be recorded, because as you see, when information comes through, I just kind of go with it, and it gets sometimes quite fast. And so even I at times have to re-listen to it. And the energy that is, this is the first time it's shared as well with a full moon oracle. And full moon energy is potent. Wowza. Oh. It's guided to connect to some earth energy to ground this fire. And this is from, which deck is this? The Plant Spirit Oracle deck. Mugwort came. Does anyone know about mugwort? Look at this gorgeous painting, huh? I love it. And the words with mugwort are dreams, fantasies, and delusions. Mugwort is very much used. You can have a mugwort tea to assist in expanding dream state. And dreaming is an interesting thing, because, and I'm speaking now solely not on dreams received while sleeping. I mean the action of dreaming, like dreaming in conscious state, during the day. Because sometimes dreaming disguises itself as thinking, right? And so we get caught up in thinking. because it feels somewhat like dreaming. And the difference is with thinking is that our brain and specifically the conductor of it, which sometimes is known as ego, really enjoys when thinking, trying to like discover all the steps of how to get there, or all of the like the to-do list. And dreams then so I feel like that there's, when people have said then the word daydreaming, it seems almost like you're supposed to not think and go into kind of like la la land, like go into this like kind of delusional, surreal exploration that doesn't have any connection to not reality. I want to be very clear in that, because reality is just literally a perspective. Everyone will have a different concept of what reality is depending on the perspective that they carry at that time, or like the active perspective. But more so that the daydreaming feels like there's this kind of like escapist quality of like not like going into very fantastical aspects. And that makes sense why when I was seeing what came up with this first card, that I was seeing these kind of like these like yearning, like these memories, and thinking of like these wondrous magical times that you had really loving or profound connections. And of course, with memories, when we make them seem very fantastical and exciting, sometimes they're not solely exactly how they were, right? Like we kind of like look at it through rose-colored glasses and see it how we wish to see it. And so what I'm getting from this additional card, I feel it's very kind of connected to that first one, is that they're like, do you realize incubation to now mutation to growing into this fuller, more embodied, more all-encompassing, balanced and harmonious being that is that process itself is changing the world. And then, do you realize that even those things that you're like, oh, this is just pure fantasy, oh, this is pure, like, has no connection to reality. It's like if you are seeing it, you could easily bring it into your existence, into form. They're almost like there's a very stern, like a tall kind of ascended teacher, very grand, with long kind of white hair, and getting very surge of kind of lunar energy with them, and they just want to kind of like, they're not going to smack you. It's not that type of energy, but it's going like, why are you? It's a very strong message. I'm trying to find the words. My dog's like sensing it. A way to get clear without it being misinterpreted. Okay. Why are you still dreaming small? Why are you thinking that those things that are fantasy, you are the thing that is thinking that they're delusional or untrue? And why? Who has limited you from even believing that your dreams are true? Who is coming up even now in the heart? Who is coming up as rhythms or memories within the body that has, unbeknownst to you, right? Because you loved them and you felt deep and immense connection to them and even respect, that they have tightened the realm that you feel could be. And they're sharing that, like, it's really interesting, these 3 ones, right? Because there's very different energy that we relate towards these 3 words: dreams, fantasies, delusions, right? And they're like, you are the one who is choosing what is a dream, what is a fantasy, and what is a delusion. Why are you being that hard on yourself? Who has helped you select what could be within your life and what could never be? It is time to make the first move and to break that ceiling, get out of that fishbowl, get out of that restrictive barrier. And for that restrictive barrier, is bringing up a lot of intense frustration. Kind of like, you're like, there's so much coming out now of all this great energy and all this immense assistance from spirit. And, I feel there's almost, you're like, then why isn't it showing up in my life? Why isn't what I really want showing up in my life? And the sweet thing of this full moon is that they're sharing, guess what? Nothing is yet set in stone. So even what is coming through today, don't think that that's like you've buried yourself and you're done. But there's something that has to let go, break free of, in order for you to allow your vision and belief in what you can bring into being, what you can bring into your life, be it love, be it work. It's so neat. In the dreams, they show all these gorgeous pictures. It's like, which one do you want, right? So like there's multiple things you can bring into being. But the limitations that they're not fully your fault, but you are still allowing them to be there. This is so helpful. Oh, hi, Jody. I was receiving the same question today. Who has been limiting me? But it's not them. It's how I'm taking that and allowing that to be my definition of dreams, fantasies, delusions. Yes. I love how you, you have such wisdom. I just adore you. But there's something very, very important in even what you just wrote that is coming like, boing, but it's not them. Okay. Boom. Sometimes when we feel shackled, sometimes when we feel, that our dreams are limited, right? And then you realize, like you actually sense, oh shit, there's a barrier. There's something that's stopping me. And then you ask your intuitive self, where did it come from? And then you might get a memory of like a domineering father, or even like a partner that's in your life that you love, that's or a really close friend or sibling. I'm getting that like the limitations you'll see are actually from people that are very close to you. And in that, it's really easy then to go, oh, so I am not receiving what I want in life because of you, right? And there's so there's something very, very potent of what Jody shared of going, but it's not them, because the question was who has been limiting me, and then you're like, but it's not them, because yes, they may have contributed to the structure, right? The energetic structure that is making you either pine towards getting something that feels outside of that or unattainable, which is I think why I was getting a lot around the isolation, right? And how some people are really yearning for things that just feel like they're out of their control. And so there's we're being asked to expand our reach. And back to that type of like big stone in the pond, right? Expanding the ripples of what you are open to receive, what you are also open to release, and expanding your reach is going to have to make peace with that which has been limiting you. And even if it has been supported and almost bolstered, fortified by other people's voices or energy, and their own perceived set of limitations, the wondrous thing about our mutable form, right? Back to that kind of like idea of like when water goes towards a rock, it's not like it just goes boing and bounces back. It goes, okay, which way do I need to go around the rock, under the rock? It finds another way to continue its flow. It's like the most incredible thing of water, right? And so that is why we're not yet set in stone. That is why we're still in the growing phase. And it's okay to be in the growing phase, because then when we experience these limitations, it's not about then going, oh, my bad, it's all my fault, or it's, oh, my bad, or they're bad, it's all their fault. It's no, like, there's no more blame game. Like, that's an old pattern that we can let go of. It's instead of going, I see a limitation. And it may have been, it's gotten now into a really big wall because over time it's been fed by many people within my life, as well as, of course, me. And so then the direction, that's why the connection to the purpose, the direction, the actual movement of you has to be a bit bolder. It has to be, and I know I don't usually use this word because I always ask people to be like, release intensity, but like get, us spirits agreeing now, with a bit more force. With a bit more force. That you are strong enough to move with force without harming, right? Without harming another. This is like expanding my brain as I speak. Expanding my being as I speak. I'm just like, wowza. Let me know if questions are coming up. Oh, and they are talking. I shared of when the video goes hot, cold, you know that spirit's in a really strong agreement. I pulled from, I love these ones. They don't have like words. They're very intuitive cards but the Cosmic Laws Oracle. These are so lovely from this intuitive in Portugal. Okay. This number, first of all, showed up like so much today. Has anybody else been getting the master number 22? Like, or seeing it or in any of that? I've been seeing it like all day today. So it's just so lovely to see an affirmation for this is number 22. And the word of this gorgeous, wondrous being is confidence. There we go. Yeah. What do you see in that? Wow. Do you see how this mutable form, like this form of this wondrous being that is flowing with that kind of red energy and movement, passionate, full of love, like I'm getting such strong messages today. What a beautiful dance in that card. Yes. Um, they are like, don't you see? Don't you see that you have done the work? You have moved through the cycles. You have rebirthed. You are connected to, all of these loving spirit guides, and you are walking your true path, and you are now have this like immense ability to reach out and expand. It's there is such, they're like, don't you see that you are in joy? Don't you see? And if you don't see, it's not that then to berate yourself of going, oh, this doesn't apply to me, or no, I don't see, I don't, you know what I mean? Like my work, like I just feel like there's going to be a whole bunch of like gas stuff that will come up in the mind around that. And that is part of the barrier. That is part of the limitation. And so this full moon, we are moving through with these parts of the limitation. I feel some of you have also you have faced a lot of the people that are in your lives, or the patterns past that gave you a lot of pain and suffering. You've faced them, and you've done a lot of healing work and a lot of growth work. So it's not that there's this, and it's so neat because okay, I'm like getting 50,000 things to say. Sometimes what comes through when we feel that we have been reborn, or we have great awakening, or deeper connection, or more connection to self, is that we feel then in the newness that we are naive, right? There's something, I think it even goes back to the tarot with like the beginning of the journey, the zero being named the fool, like that it's foolish to be that new. And so the things that we are being asked to release, it's like those last things that will, as I shared, like break the ceiling, get out of the fishbowl, like get rid of the tight belt that is limiting you from creating and bringing further dreams into existence. But it's not like, it feels like it's like the last couple taps that would need to break the glass. It's not that you are coming there with like a mining tools and a chisel and starting to hack away at something that has been there for ever and ever and ever, right? That would be a lot of arduous work. And so again, the force of you around the stone, I just keep on getting that. So it's not that you're getting to the thing going bang, 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 move, right? It's, that even hurt my hand. Too much force. But it's then the force is in the direction. And that force, this ties into even what came up in New Moon Oracle, of your commitment is being tested, right? And I shared a lot of this in the past couple of weeks, so you're welcome to look back if you wish to kind of get the other bits. But what I'm guided to kind of add to that is that last piece of the puzzle is that your commitment is being tested, is meaning like what parts of you don't trust that your direction is true. because that's the force behind the movement and your expansion, your joy, you're accessing further dreams, you're accessing greater connections, like all of it. So, and then not trusting the direction, your path, that your path is true. You know, even in saying that, you could feel like then when you're like, okay, I'm walking new, like you'd be like really timid and tentative in the steps, really slow, maybe like kind of like stop for a second and be like, okay, did I blow up? No, okay, I can walk another step, right? And what is being asked for us now? Confidence. Confidently know, like trust that you are true. You are walking the path, the purposeful path. Your heart is true. The work that you have done has brought you to this here and now so that you can move forward with confidence, with more strength of your character, more strength of your whole being, knowing even at the same time that you will still potentially mutate and grow. And I think that's so exciting that, that we haven't taken full form yet, because that shares how the cycles that will come this year will the beauty of the summer and the fall and all of this stuff, like the cycles that will come will allow you to grow more and more, so that it's not then going to be a forceful like fish moving in the ocean, but you're growing into like a whale, if that makes sense. It's not like the mutation is just you're becoming like back to that stone, like becoming something larger, literally, so that you can have more ripples, have more impact, and expand your reach. Just taking a peek at the card again. Yeah, I even see in this card, like, have you ever heard of the whirling dervishes? The those of the Baha'i faith that connect to the divine by simply twirling, and it was shown, and they got this beautiful dance that they did of just moving, in such a transcendental meditative state of pure devotion and love. Immense love and connection. And that is the love that we are beginning to experience now in this form. It's look to Rumi. Rumi shares it better. It describes the essence of this divine love in way better words than I could ever. I just feel it. It's hard for me to describe it. So grateful for the other poets that speak of this love, and that love most definitely. We're getting some noise. Will most definitely can be experienced in human form. But I feel that there's also some of this yearning for romance, is this yearning because this love is awakening within you, right? This love that is what feeds our dance, our confident movement into expanding our reach, into expanding beyond the boundaries and the limitations of before, to dream big. It is our time to be bold. I really love how that shared be bold. Bold and confident. This even came upside down, which is funny. It's number 16, law of polarity. This comes up a bunch. And I think this is always a reminder. And I get this as it's just a very gentle reminder of going, like, there is more than two ways. There's more than one way. And so when we see something, if we get stuck in seeing something that is in front of us that is limiting us, we are thinking it is solely a limitation. And so to then go, what is the other perspective? It is just something we have to move around. Our direction, the force that is us, the direction is not necessarily a linear thing, right? When we think that direction is linear, we think that literally then we would have to, obstacle, block, limitation, but the direction is the energy, is the solar energy of your movement. And so when you think of it like that, then it's not that doing this is changing your direction or changing your course. You are still moving with the same force, the same energy. And also what's coming through with that card is that on top of just kind of like looking at the, shifting perspective of the things that are coming up in the mind very clearly as blocks or challenges, is that, and this even came up yesterday in Meditation Monday, was like, it's not an either or. So there will be multiple answers, that we can see them all. It's not about them blocking them completely and going, that's not a limitation. This is, like just changing the brain. It's about allowing yourself to see the multiple perspectives that are going to come up in your mind. And then from there, find your home, like find your, as you see, there's this beautiful flame of a being between these polarities, right? It's right? Finding your essence, finding your tone, attuning to self, however you wish to think of that process. And it's here a lot, right? It's like this kind of central line, this central point. Even I even saw that when I was even first receiving within the X, like the X marks the spot. It's like when things are starting to make you feel this is delusional, this is not capable, there's too many limitations, there's this, I want this, it can't happen now, I'm irritated, blah blah blah, all those things, right? Instead of kind of letting them, even as you saw when I talked, like we will let them kind of move us off course. That's like when you see, like, I don't even know if there's a fish that would swim like that. Is there such a thing as a confused fish? One that's kind of like they swim kind of like just going, I don't know, should I go here? Should I go here? Should I go here? Should I go here? Right? And that's kind of what happens within our mind. And so that confidence is that, deep loving connection that you are experiencing now, to foster that and to grow that. But that also, when we feel that we are being directionless, purposeless, when you start to feel those less things, then to just go, wait a second, cancel out the noise for a second. Let me find the sound within. Let me find my center. Now can I see all of those things that are showing up and go, what is serving me in moving forward with purpose and direction and in trust. I'll keep those. What is not assisting in me in expanding my reach, in moving beyond the limitations, so that I can create and bring great things into being that are not just of self-benefit, but also for the greater good of all and one, that will ripple the effects to all. Okay. So now that I see all that's there and choose what to allow to be a little clearer, and some to realize they can move a little further out to the outskirts, right? Where we are strongest is our external form. And then step forward. Move. It's time. Just checking in to see if there some of you have some very talkative guides that wish to connect with you. And to just ask for translation, ask for further knowing if you wish. Be very clear in what you're asking for now. Be very clear in the things that you think are delusional or fantastical. Still write those down, because they may become very clear and very real as the limited boundaries expand. You know what I mean? Like, write them all down, not just the ones that feel like they can occur now. And yeah, I think that's it for today, unless there's any additional questions. I'm feeling a good grounding and a good opening by this point, which usually means it's like, okay, oracle complete. And then I can have a little invitation of my own. I have, it was neat. I received a creation code of how to co-create with spirit about 2 years ago. And I carried it because I felt that I had to be that container. To kind of like, I was scared that if it was, from previous and past patterns of working with some parts of co-creating with those that did it for self-benefit, I was scared. I was scared that if it was brought into the wrong hands, then what would this do to the world? Just felt the weight and the responsibility of it, which of course, how grateful once receiving something from an ascended teacher, the wild journey it took for me to move through all of my own fears and limiting beliefs around that. And so when I got the nudge to do a free course soon this spring to welcome some new people who wish to journey together and all our loving and true paths, even if they are different directions, right? We're still swimming in the same sea. And when I asked Spirit, I was like, okay, so what should this course be on? And they're like, well, give them the code. Like, hello. And it was just so cute. My spirit team does have a really good sense of humor. And so I was like, well, of course, because I do now know 100% that it is protected. And I do 100% know that it only works when we are aligned with spirit and when we have moved through a lot of these limiting beliefs and things. So yes, I'm really excited for this, and you are welcome to join. This is an invitation. I will share underneath a link where you can register for it. It will be all on a Facebook private group. And once you sign up, you will receive a link with a little code to share in some of the questions to get into the private group. It will be on live videos for 4 days starting May 3rd. So I would love to see you there. Like, let's get creating. Let's get bringing some of these, like starting to actually practice and bring some of these dreams into creation with the loving support of the elements of spirit and source creator, earth mother, so that we can continue to extend our reach. And as we bring our dreams into creation, seeing how they affect and benefit all. I would be honored to see you there. And on that, any other announcements? I think that's a big one. I really look forward to that. Have a wonderful week. Good luck with these ripples and what has come up. As always, oracles can be listened to multiple times. You're welcome to listen to this again, like right after for replay if you wish, to see what you may need an additional kind of sound for. Or you're welcome to even listen to it in a couple days. And what I share is that usually with oracle, you might even get nudges at other times in other cycles to listen to it. Trust always, because there might be a message there that will feel really relevant for the cycle that you are in now, because we do swim different paths. And you will know when it is kind of complete, when you just feel that it's almost like old news. And you'll get it. I think many of you will get that. So have a wondrous evening. May you enjoy the ripples of the full moon. I look forward to listening and celebrating all these confident, joyful, loving beings that will be coming into deeper and greater connection as we swim with force that is coming from a place of love and not of fear. Aho. To all my relations, take care.